Girls often say one thing but mean completely different things. If you can't read thoughts, then Translator is your best friend. This device translates everything women say into a language we can understand, without all those pitfalls and hints. You asked for it, so here's the second part, in which we analyze many more women's phrases with hidden meanings and what they really say. Watch until the end to learn how to read girls.
I don't have sex on the first date.
I want to see what you're going to do.
First of all, you should take a woman's words not that seriously, but rather look at what she does. That is, if you're already kissing passionately, if she's ready to come over to your place, these are much stronger signs that she is ready for more. This means that, in fact, if you do everything right, you're very likely to have sex on the very first date. Understand her words in a way that she's currently hesitant, but does not rule out the idea of intimacy that very evening. And then, see what the trend is. If she continues to say this phrase or some variation of it over and over again, then you will storm her on the following dates and spend the first one more restrained.
I have a boyfriend.
But I'm still in search.
A girl you like drops a cold shower on you by revealing that she has a boyfriend, but she continues to flirt with you? That's a green light. This means that the question is solely about your determination to continue this story, but it definitely doesn't mean that she has a boyfriend and therefore back off. Maybe she has him just for the sake of it, like a living dildo, and she still keeps her door open, and maybe you're the best option. It's like in a movie. She has a boyfriend on the screen, but off the set, she's ready for a new role. However, if a girl says this in a negative way, it really means that she doesn't want to communicate with you. Girls who really love their boyfriends and don't want to lose them cut off such efforts at dating and flirting right away.
If you don't like something, I do not hold you.
If you act out, you will go yourself.
Phrases like, I don't hold anyone near me, literally mean either fit into my framework or fuck off. It's even good when you hear such a phrase in a relationship. It means that the whole thing is dead and there's no point in carrying this burden anymore. If you're told this, then you're like a suitcase without a handle for this girl. Like you're there, but they don't want to drag you around, and if you start claiming your rights, you can be thrown away.
Let me tell you something, you stupid little runt. I own you. You're my bitch.
There's a very good rule. Don't waste your time on people who don't appreciate you and don't want to spend time with you. For example, you shouldn't put the desire to seduce a girl or have a relationship with her in the first place and put your self-respect in the second place. Self-love and respect should come first. If someone says that to you, they probably have no respect for you. And such a phrase is a call to simp. And if you simp, she'll try to find out what else she can get out of you. And if you don't simp, it's a small loss. In short, if a guy has his own boundaries and self-respect, then this love story should be ended.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll think about it.
My answer is no.
You ask a girl out, but she doesn't give you a definite answer. Most likely this means that she potentially has someone else she'd like to meet. But if it doesn't work out, she might consider you. This can also be expanded to include when she says, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, or maybe next week. If she doesn't make any specific counter-proposals for an alternative date and time, you're not her first choice. With phrases like, I'm busy and don't want to explain anything, she's basically rejecting you. This means that she doesn't think of you as a man. If a girl really wants to see you, she'll make it clear to you. There's absolutely no point in breaking into a closed door.
I never call first.
You're nothing to me.
Sometimes guys fancy that since you've already gone on a couple of dates, she's already yours. In fact, this phrase should ground you a bit, because it means that at the moment, the girl treats you as if she doesn't care if you exist. That is, for her, you are like a normal dude, you can still meet, but she's not going to invest in this story seriously if she cannot even call or write first. So don't imagine things that aren't real. And if you ask her why she was the first to call one of your acquaintances and slept with him on the first date, although she said the exact opposite, you'll hear something like, but it was a vacation romance, I was drunk, or I liked him so much I couldn't resist. Don't take women's words literally. That's what I want to tell you.
Don't rush, I'm not ready yet.
Be more persistent.
This is a typical test of your persistence. If you agree to play by her rules, she'll see you as a weakling. She can throw this at different stages of communication. When you try to kiss her, when you ask her to go to your place, and any other attempts you make to take the initiative. It translates as, are you a strong enough man to get what you want? If you agree to play on her terms, you're on the list of convenient guys. She has a wagon of them. Maybe you'll find some friends there. At all times, a woman has chosen the strongest male for reproduction. Only the ways of determining this male have changed. Today it is as follows. If you are ready to sacrifice your wants and follow her instructions, wait for her permission, you are unlikely to evoke even the slightest bit of sexual desire in her. When it comes to sex on the first date, The basic idea of seduction is this. If you're a guy she's interested in, you brought her home, then she should come up with a why not line in her head. Girls no longer worry about whether they can sleep with a man on the first date. These are all stories to get rid of boring guys, or to make themselves worthwhile, or to avoid being seen as a whore.
A sense of humor is the most important thing.
Appearance and success are more important.
If a girl says that she values a sense of humor, intelligence, and other blah 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 blah, it doesn't mean she won't be willing to sleep with her fitness coach. Guys, girls judge you as a package. If you think you're the soul of the company, and that's the only thing that will make you a success, screw you. If you're the soul of the company and you're also handsome, then yes, you'll be 3 times more successful with girls. So improve yourself as a whole.
Money is not the most important thing.
That's just the common saying.
Girls say all these phrases mechanically, and those who say them are often even more mercenary. Don't take these words literally. Take them in context. Think about what ideas she put into this phrase. What's her motivation for saying it in that particular situation?
I don't want a relationship now.
I don't want a relationship with you.
When you hear this phrase at the seduction stage, it's bad news. Unfortunately, guys take these words literally and think that they need to wait for her to want a relationship. But in fact, the phrase should be deciphered as follows. Boy, I think you're not on my level. I deserve more. I don't take you as a man. I don't want you. I don't appreciate you. And I've already figured out that you're in love with me and ready for anything I suggest. Therefore, in the future, such men need to pay attention to their actions. I mean, nothing has happened yet, and they're already broadcasting to a girl that they're head over heels in love with her, even though they barely know her. I'm not going to discourage you, but after saying that a girl doesn't want a relationship right now, in most cases, nothing good will happen next. If you hear this, it means you've done everything but progress with her. So you can try and turn it into a joke. For example, that you're not built for a relationship either, and just want to meet her to have a good time. Maybe you can at least try to get some sex from her, but there's not much of a chance of a full-fledged relationship.
I don't want a serious relationship now.
You seem fine, but you're stiff.
This phrase is similar to the previous one, but a little more optimistic. Here, at least the chances of having sex are still there. When a girl says that she doesn't want a serious relationship, it can mean that she visually likes the guy and can have a good time with him, yet he's extremely dumb or boring. She's giving him one last try to improve her impression and at least make sure he doesn't screw up with sex, but she doesn't want to have any long-term relationships with him. In short, when you hear this, hope is not dead yet, unlike with the previous phase. If you turn on right now and start doing the right things, you might even end up in bed together that night. But that's the most you can get out of this situation.
But I'm a girl.
And you are a man, so you owe me.
Almost every single woman today has a huge list of things that men owe her. So, dude, if you thought you were talking to an angel, to some sweet, naive girl, it's time to take off your pink glasses. Of course, not in every situation when you hear such a phrase, you need to turn on the baboon mode and furiously shout that you're not falling for such manipulations. Let's look at 2 situations. First, you brought your girl to your place, you ordered rolls, she holds up the soy sauce and says, "Oh, can you help me open it?" You ask her what's so difficult and she says, "Well, I'm a girl." Everything's fine here, ignore it, and continue to enjoy the evening. But most often this phrase can be heard when a girl has already done some trash. For example, the second scenario. The stage of the romance, she ignored you for several days, just disappeared, and then she answers your questions, "Well, I'm a girl, I just forgot," or "I'm a girl, we have mood swings." Then you can be sure she'll continue to pull some similar tricks and will simply blame everything on the fact that she is a girl.
He's just a friend.
He's more than a friend.
Phrases like this are a huge pain in the ass for many guys. If you don't know this friend personally and this girl's in no hurry to introduce you, then it's likely she's downplaying his importance to her. When you know her friend, shake hands with him. Know his face. He has a certain responsibility towards you. He realizes that if something is wrong, you can walk up to him and punch him in the face. And when you don't know him, haven't seen him, he can say that he didn't know that this girl had someone, that she didn't tell him about you. Together, they can also make you look like the bad guy in this conflict. So you just have to know, just friends by sight, and they have to know you.
I am looking for a serious relationship.
I don't want to seem easily accessible.
Sometimes girls are the ones who start a conversation about a serious relationship. They especially like to write about it online. This does not mean that she's really thinking about marriage. Most often a girl wants to communicate that she's looking for a guy for more than one night, and she doesn't want to seem cheap. First and foremost, she's interested in a story that lasts longer than just a date or two and isn't all about sex. Just nod, agree without saying anything, but don't give this phrase much weight in your head. You can even play along and say, "Listen, I completely understand you. And I would also like to meet a girl with whom I would be interested and comfortable after one meeting, 2, 3, 5, 10.
I like it when a man knows what he wants from life.
I need a sponsor.
When she says that she likes a man who knows what he wants from life, or she likes mature guys, it means she's looking for a wealthy gentleman so that he can provide her with a good and carefree existence. Well, until he finds someone more attractive or she finds someone richer. It's especially funny to hear a 19 to 20-year-old say something like, I've had my fun. I want everything to be serious now with a serious man. She just realized that cocktails and clubs are not free, and she's hinting, come on, man, invest in me. You need to accept that girls are more mercantile than guys. Dear women, don't bully me in the comments. It's just nature.
All men only want sex.
I'm a stupid sex doll.
If a girl says something like that, she most likely has problems with her self-esteem or worldview. She may not be suitable for a long-term relationship. This is not to say that if she says so, she's had plenty of quick sex with many men, but these men just dumped her because they didn't consider her to be something more precious than just a shag. If you manage to seduce her easily, then why not? But to develop this story more seriously is at your own risk, bro.
You're too nice for me.
You don't turn me on.
When you're trying to seduce a girl and finally move to the next level of your relationship, and she says this, it's 100% friend zone. All these phrases that she uses to emphasize that she doesn't want to spoil your friendship with sex means let's stay friends. This literally says that you don't turn her on. She doesn't see you as a man. She doesn't want you as a sexual object. It's frustrating, but it's true.
I'm not hungry.
I will try everything on your plate.
When you go to the supermarket and ask her if she wants some goodies, she says, no, I'm on a diet. Translate it as, of course I want some. Don't make this catastrophic mistake. Always buy or order something for her, even if she says she doesn't want anything. And if she asks you to buy pads, then you have already become one of her closest. You have the highest level of trust between you.
We will talk about this later.
I need to get ready for the next battle.
If she postpones the conversation with words like that, it means she's so angry that she can't think straight. She needs more time to gather arguments that she will use to destroy you in the future. So get ready for a follow-up fight that can break out at any time.
It's better if you give me your number.
I'm not interested in you.
There are many ways to translate this phrase, but the essence boils down to one thing usually. A girl's not interested in a guy. So she can take his number to call him if she gets bored, or she gets the number so that the guy will leave her alone. Or she doesn't want to offend the guy, so she gets his number. Or she gets the number in case she has a quarrel with her boyfriend. Yes, there may be actual reasons why she can't give you her number, but more often than not, it means that she won't call you. But politeness doesn't allow her to tell you to get lost. A good option would be to show your persistence and press her if she's trying to test you in this way. Or you can just joke around and say something like, write that down. Most likely my butler will answer the phone. He can't speak, but he understands everything. The worst option is to ask, will you really call?
I went through a difficult breakup.
Our story will be short.
When a girl says she's still held by the past, you should not expect to have a serious relationship with her. First of all, you need to value yourself and not build any long-term story with such girls. Secondly, you can be sure that you shouldn't expect any logical development with this girl. You can have a cool date, second date, third date, you can have sex, and she might actually like you. But her emotional connection to her ex hasn't been severed yet, and if he showed up on the horizon again, she'll go back to him. In short, if you're interested in her and have no other options at the moment, then why not have fun? But don't take this seriously.
My ex is an asshole.
I'm ungrateful and hysterical.
If a girl speaks negatively about her ex, especially if you don't ask her about it, it means that you're most likely dealing with a hysterical girl who's prone to negativity. It would be a mistake to turn on the savior mode, like, oh, since her ex was a jerk, that's it. I'll treat her like a princess now and she'll love me. If you behave like a normal, empathetic guy with such a lady, then don't be surprised that she may start to distance herself from you. She's used to emotional swings and will be bored with a normal guy. Besides, she hasn't moved on from her previous relationship yet and still has an emotional connection with her ex, albeit a negative one.
I'm not offended.
In fact, I am offended.
You have a quarrel and later she says she's not offended. You breathe a sigh of relief, but in fact, if you look closely, you can see that something's wrong with her. That's why this phrase most often should be interpreted completely the other way around.
I forgive you.
I'll remember that.
If you messed up and admitted it, she doesn't forgive you with the phrase, I forgive you. She'll try to accept it and live with it, but she'll never forget it, and she'll use it against you in the next conflict.
I'm sorry.
I'm not going to admit my guilt.
If it was her fault and the girl says she's sorry, she sympathizes with what you've been through, but it doesn't mean she's admitting her guilt. Bro, no one promised that it would be easy with women.
Do you love me?
I'm not completely confident in you.
Yes, I understand. Men are very annoyed by this question. With all these open-ended questions, a girl's testing your relationship. How close you are, how controllable you are. Questions like these represent her doubts about herself, about your relationship, doubts that you'll stay with her and not leave her after a couple of nights. If you really value her, then don't be lazy to tell this to her. A lame answer would be, I've already told you this many times, why are you asking me again? But when a girl has no doubt that you're in love with her, this question can indicate that she needs something from you, and she's gently leading up to it. Meanwhile, the question, do you not love me, is pure manipulation, and she definitely needs you to do her a favor.
I need to be alone.
We should break up.
Usually the phrases I need to be alone or I need time to think can be heard when your story with her has already gained some momentum. That is if, for example, you haven't even had sex with a girl yet, then she's probably just dumping. But if you're already in a relationship with a girl, she probably just doesn't have enough courage to end it. Perhaps someone else has appeared on her radar, and she's thinking that the relationship with you did not meet her expectations. This phrase, as well as let's take a break, means that your relationship's already dead and nothing good is going to happen. Maybe a 1 in a million cases, if you ask her what's wrong, there will be some objective reason, but in most cases, it's just a nice way to end the relationship. I hope that you're not ready to continue a relationship with a girl, realizing she already perceives you as a backup and that she does not consider your story as something really cool and valuable to her.
I'm not sure about our relationship.
There is no longer any relationship.
This is another way a girl can gently hint that there's nothing between you anymore. If a girl were to tell it like it is, this phrase would go something like this. Look, I don't really like you or respect you, but if you offer me something right now, something that I can post on Instagram, I'll think about it. The problem is that most men in this situation think that they need to do something to make her more secure in their relationship. But the approach should be different. If I've already done something for our relationship and she's still not sure, then it. If you need a nice answer, you can say, oh, well, that's too bad. Call me when you're sure. But I'm in favor of not continuing such a story after such a phrase, even if she calls you after a while.
Let's stay friends.
I don't want to see you anymore.
If you do break up and the girl says, let's stay friends, you shouldn't take her words literally. You think she really wants to be friends with you? Of course not. She says this phrase only to send you off gently and to not feel guilty for the pain she caused. Besides, she may need your help in the future. So it's like she's saying goodbye forever and let's keep in touch.
Do whatever you want.
I expect you to do the right things.
This phrase is a test. She's not telling you directly what to do. In her mind, you should have already learned enough about your baby or master mind reading to understand what she expects you to do. And if you didn't, you'd be in trouble, boy. If you do nothing at all, she might lose a little bit of trust in you because you've shown a lack of will.
It's so cute.
It's not what I wanted.
If you come to a meeting with a girl, having picked up a present on the way, and you hear the answer, that's so cute, thank you for the gift. I don't want to upset you, but it's not what she wanted. She just doesn't want to offend you.
I have something broken.
Fix it.
When a woman says something's broken or she needs something, it's always a request for you to do or fix it. It's a common manipulation that tells you what to do next. Yes, we were brought up to believe that a man should take care of a girl, he should make her life easier, and she should just be nice and beautiful. It's up to you to fulfill her requests or not. But by default, such phrases should be approached exactly as I said, as requests to do something, not as if she simply voiced her wishes or shared difficulties in her life and routine.
You only think about yourself.
Do something for me right away.
This is another similar phrase to encourage you to take some urgent action. If a girl says this to you, then you missed the moment when she needed something from you. You should have paid attention or given her something. Maybe you bought something for yourself and nothing for her, and she's annoyed. It's a clear attempt to attract attention to get some kind of benefit.
I don't care.
You won the battle, but not the war.
If she says she doesn't care, then you've won the argument. But, as you may have guessed, she refuses to admit defeat. She simply rejects your last point and just doesn't want to talk about it anymore.
I don't want anything from you.
I need everything from you.
Perhaps she really doesn't need anything from you and she's a completely self-sufficient girl. Or maybe she's just letting your guard down and has selfish plans in mind.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
I'm not urging you to be constantly tense and look for hidden meaning in every word she says, but you should at least filter her phrases a little. Again, look at the context, who she is, what she does, whether she has a steady source of income, a job, and prospects in life. Or is she just a sweet, beautiful girl looking for a man who will appreciate her beauty?
I'm not ready for sex yet.
Try again.
Does this phrase mean that the girl is not really ready to have sex with you that day or that evening? Not necessarily. It all depends on the circumstances. So even if you hear this, I advise you to stop trying for a while and just try again afterwards. Very often, such words from a girl mean that she wants to, but is still in doubt, so don't stop trying. And then the whole point is in your experience, how much you can use your persistence. At the very least, bring the situation to the point where she repeats it again so that you can be sure that you have done everything in your power, but there will be no extension of the evening today. Maybe next time, she'll be ready.
I will never forgive betrayal or deception.
I want to control you.
The essence of this phrase is that the girl's trying to achieve maximum control over the man and set her own limits in the relationship, not that she really will not forgive cheating. I have a negative attitude towards deception and betrayal, but I'm trying to convey to you that if your value to her is at a high level, she won't leave and she will forgive you for cheating and deception. She herself will find many excuses for her husband's betrayal, that he was drunk, that she offended him in some way, that he cheated, but promised that this would not happen again, and she would really believe him. She can find a lot of excuses. The whole question is about your value to her. What other female phrases are still missing? Write in the comments and we will discuss them in the next videos. Thank you for your likes. Be sure to watch the first part.